Hi everybody, today I am showing you one of my other dishes. It's not a Pampered Chef recipe, but it's certainly one that I love and can be done with the Pampered Chef tools. This is my 12-inch executive non-stick skillet. This is one that is great for families, even for a single person. I say for families because it's such a huge skillet that you can make a whole dish in here and feed your entire family. And it's good for single people because if you wanted to cook up a food ahead for the week, you could make, like for example, 4 or 5 or 6 chicken cutlets in here and just, put them in the fridge and have them for the rest of the week. Use them for salads, make a fajita or burrito, anything you'd like. Use it to serve over Alfredo pasta. So this is such an excellent skillet. It's versatile. It goes on top of your stove, even in the oven. Sometimes I make a 12-inch chocolate cake in here, and it is so delicious. It bakes right in the oven, nice and evenly. And what I love about it is it's non-stick on the inside and the outside, so that your pot always ends up looking pretty like this for years to come. You're not going to ever have any baked-on food on the outside there. Also, the non-stick material is baked into the pot, so it's not sprayed on like most of your other ones, and it won't flake off or peel off while you're using utensils in it. Now, of course, we always recommend using something that's not metal so it doesn't scratch, but if by chance you did scratch it, you're never going to get any flaking or peeling of that non-stick, which is so harmful and dangerous to you. So what I started doing here today is that I sliced up some green peppers. First I put in some extra virgin olive oil, sliced up green peppers. One of them turned a little red on me because I had it in the fridge for a while, and some white onions. And I just got that in here simmering down, and it smells so good in here. I have nothing in there yet as far as seasonings, but what I'm about to put in there right now is a Spanish seasoning called sazon, and this one has color in it. So I'm about to sprinkle that in there. Oh, what am I making? Today I am making beef bistec. Okay, some people call it bisteca. And I'm serving it over white rice. So what I'm going to show you today is how to make the beef bistec. And it's so easy. It's delicious. If you have leftovers, you can use it to make fajitas the next night, or just reheat and serve over your white rice. But what's going to help this with the Spanish flavor is that sazon that I just put in here. So you want to put that into your vegetables and get the vegetables nice and seasoned. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to, as you all know from my previous videos, my kitchen is super tiny, don't have much of a workspace. What we're going to do next is we're going to take a piece of meat. I buy any type of huge meat, but usually it turns out to be the beef chuck shoulder, London broil. Okay? So you're going to take a London broil, and you're going to slice it either into half, or it's probably easier to work with if you slice it into 3 big chunks. Then I'm going to hold it and make very thin slices out of the meat. So I'm going to try to set up the camera so that it will take pictures of that while I'm doing it. I'll be right back. So again, very small workspace here, but I try to make do with what I got. A person like me that loves to cook really deserves a bigger kitchen. But we gotta make do. So here's a big piece of London broil, and I'm going to grab my meat cutting board. I have 2 of these, and I don't know if you can see the letters there, but with the black marker I just wrote meat so that I know that I'm not mixing what I cut my meat with and what I cut my vegetables with. Okay, so here I'm taking 1/3 of the London broil, and you can make as much or as little bistec out of this. I'm going to cut off the fat. My grandma is so good at slicing this meat super thin. Just saying that right now reminded me of the days when I lived with her, and she would just do such a great job. I probably should have watched her more. So I just try to do my best. When I have a big piece like this, I put my hand down on the top and I just start to slice. And I'm using my forged cutlery knife here. Do your best not to cut your hands, of course, but do your best to just slice thin slices like this. The thinner you get it, the better. Okay? So just keep going. Just to show you. Okay? You just keep going. And it doesn't matter that they're not perfect pieces. That's fine. Because when they cook up, they're going to shrivel up anyways. I think they do have, I guess in English this would be called a stir fry. I'm not sure. But they do have small pieces of stir fry cut up beef cubes at the supermarket. How expensive. And there's no reason why you should pay all that money just because they cut it into cubes. You can do this yourself. Oh, and just a quick tip, you can even slice up your pepper and onions even faster if you use the ultimate mandolin. Get those puppies done real quick. Alright, so I'll be back once I'm done cutting all three of my sections here. Okay, now I'm doing this all one-handed, guys, so please bear with me. Alright, so what we got here is I've moved over all of my onions and peppers because they were starting to cook up too much. And what you want to do, once they're all rendered down and nice and soft, you want to take them and put them onto a different plate. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. Okay? And I want you to notice something. You see all those brown bits in the bottom of the pan? This nonstick executive pan is so awesome that I could take a paper towel and just wipe that right away. It wouldn't even be stuck to the bottom of the pan. So, I mean, yeah, it's cooked, and some pieces became brown because I left it on there too long. But, like I said, the cleanup is so easy on these. So, and I don't know if some of you noticed before, but I had on blue gloves because, I don't know, I just have something about touching meat. I just don't like to touch it with my bare skin. So that's the only reason why I thought I'd mention that. And also, I feel like I've been really quiet on this video. If you've noticed my two other videos, I'm very loud and lively. But I was trying to be quiet to keep my kids out of the kitchen, because as soon as they hear me, and if they hear me having fun with something, they'd be running in here. So if you do see one of them run in here, please excuse them. I'm not going to edit this video. This is real video here. So what you want to do is, this is all the slices that came out of there. You want to start laying them out in your 12-inch skillet. And you need a big skillet for this because, like my grandma used to do, if you have an 8-inch or a 10-inch pan, you would never get done with this. You'd be standing in front of the stove forever. And who has time for that now? I mean, seriously. We want to get it all done quickly, right? So, I mean, this should take no more than 15, 20 minutes tops. And that's why I like putting in my vegetables first and getting them cooking, because while they're cooking, I start to slice up my beef really thin. Well, I say really thin, but when I'm looking at my slices right now, gosh, I remember my grandma's being paper thin. Okay, so this is going to turn out so delicious. Once I get these all in here, we're going to put salt and pepper on them, and then we're just going to let them cook. It's so quick because they're so thin. It's only about maybe, I'd say, 4 minutes, if even that, on each side. All you got to do is turn them over again. And when you turn them over, then you're going to put all of your vegetables back on top while that other half is cooking. And that's it. Voila, it's done. And like I said, we like to serve this over white rice. You can certainly do this and serve it with mashed potatoes, or that's really all I can think of. I wouldn't see more vegetables on the side, just because you already have some going on in this plate. So while that's in there, I'm actually going to sprinkle, and you don't have to pre-season the meat before time, because it's all going to get mixed in there. I'm going to sprinkle some adobo in there, and then I'll put some salt and pepper. And I'll be back to show you what the second half. Alright friends, so now as you can see, I turned my meat over. It took only 3 minutes for it to cook on one side. Some pieces still look pink because I had 2 pieces on top of the other. But what you want to do is, you see how juicy that is? You want to put a lid on your pot or pan, because you want it to create all those wonderful juices. Peppers and onions, and at this point you want to chop up, or while it's working on one side, you want to chop up fresh tomato. The tomato just gives it this amazing flavor, and I already had some tomatoes chopped up from earlier today when I made a salad, so I'm going to add that now with one hand. Okay, it's all in there, to the dish. And you don't want to do the tomatoes with the onions and pepper, because then they become too soggy and not so great. So you want to add these at the end. Actually, I would have sliced this whole circle in half, all of them. But because I only have one hand to work with, I'm going to leave them in like that. And that's just going to give it an extra taste, an extra flavor that's so delicious. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my bamboo square bowl over, and I'm going to pour in all of that yummy, yummy peppers and onions. And just let it sit on top while that other half cooks up. Again, you don't want to overcook the steak, because then it will be too hard. You want to have a nice, juicy, soft steak. So maybe just another 3 minutes on top, or 3 minutes rather on the side that it's cooking, and then you're done. You're just going to pick it up with your tongs and serve it over white rice, or serve it next to some mashed potatoes. I really hope a lot of you get to try this dish. Look at how quick that was. It's done in 15 minutes tops. And with your rice or your other side, you can do that while this is finishing up. And I hope you all enjoy it. Please leave me any comments and let me know how you liked it, or get me on my Facebook page and let me know how you like this dish. Bye.